French politics editor Marc Perelmann joins me now in the studio with more. Marc, President Macron says he's shocked by those images, and so are most people in France. This looks like a brutal and completely unprovoked attack on a citizen.
Yes, some are already describing it as France's George Floyd moment in reference to the beating and death of a black American a few months ago that sparked riots and months of very, very nasty debates. And so clearly the issue of police brutality is now front and center. It's very rare to have the president issue a statement on one particular incident. He generally talks about big items and so on, say that he was very shocked. We hear that the police officers are now in custody. An internal investigation has been opened. So there's a willingness by the president, by the government, especially by the interior minister, who is under fire, to calm the situation and really try to change the dynamics. Because as you pointed out, there was also this incident just a few days ago with a migrant camp, and we saw again images of police brutality, not the same brutality that we've seen in those shocking images we just saw, but clearly there is a problem with the interior minister. It's not the first time in French history there is this notion that the police is given a license to go after demonstrators when it was the Yellow Vest incident. At the same time, the police is asked to make sure people stay at home under the lockdown rule. The police is asked to fight terrorism. So there's a lot of pressure, and the government wants to reassure the police, tell them, yes, we're behind you, but at the same time, it cannot tolerate police violence in France.
And of course, with mounting public anger over this kind of violence, the government is trying to pass a law which would make it an offence to upload an image of a police officer if that officer can be identified. And journalists say, this is just going to deter them from being able to do their job and to document things like this.
Yes, exactly. If there were no cameras, we wouldn't be talking about those two incidents, the migrant camp and especially those video surveillance cameras that caught the beating of this black man just a few days ago. And so there's mounting opposition against an article of a broad security law, whereby essentially you could not film, or you would have to hide the faces of police officers because it could threaten their physical or psychological, I'm citing the proposal, integrity. And so journalists are up in arms, or human rights organizations are up in arms. But more concerning for the government, many party members of Emmanuel Macron's En Marche party are also opposing this. The Prime Minister has been backtracking. He said, we'll appoint a commission of experts to discuss this issue. This is when you want to bury something, you appoint a commission of experts. And the president of the Senate, who's a conservative, Gérard Larcher, just came out, and in a statement, he urged the Prime Minister to essentially pull this article out of the law because it was causing too much controversy when you have the coincidence, this combustible mix of police violence being documented by cameras, and at the same time you say, we don't want to see this anymore because it will become a crime. It's virtually impossible for the government to hold on. I can tell you they're going to drop this article of law or change it substantially because it will not be accepted by the French, but also by Emmanuel Macron's party. The party tends to really be very obedient with Emmanuel Macron, but not this time around.
All right, Marc, thanks very much indeed. Marc Perelmann there.